Just so pleased for our seniors. I think that's where we start. You know, this class in particular maybe didn't start off their career the way they wanted, but boy, they sure have finished it in incredible fashion. They still have another game to play, which is a very important game, but to now have 30 regular season wins over the last 3 years, undefeated at home the last 2 years, you know, just, you know, those are things that, you know, have not been done for decades. So a pretty special class of players. You know, we talk about failure. Failure is not fatal. And it's the ability to come back from those times. And this group has certainly has learned that and understands how it's that group that gets back up and goes to work and perseveres and shows grit. And they're just great life lessons. And so proud of them, emotional after the game for them. And it was a great moment to spend with our seniors in this last home game for them. So, again, just so pleased for them. So, questions?
Brian, how were you able to contain Dylan the entire night? He only rushed for 56 yards.
We just, again, how were we able to contain, you know, the Navy option? How were we able to contain, you know, it's controlling the line of scrimmage. It's just not one guy. I mean, you know, we've lost 2 really good players on defense, but other guys have stepped in. You know, our guys are bought into our scheme. They're very disciplined. They trust each other. They do their job. They're not doing somebody else's job. There's a lot of pieces to this in the sense that, you know, you've got freshman defensive linemen out there. You've got some young players playing. Asmo Berlau was not a starter until this year. Drew White was not a starter until this year. You know, so you've got guys that are accountable, that trust what we're doing, that do their job, and you know, they've done it in a fashion that has allowed us to now in back-to-back weeks shut down the number 1 ranked rush offense and the number, I think, 5 ranked rush offense.
And then early in the game, it seemed like you guys would have good drives, but it would stall out a little bit. You had to settle for a lot of field goals. Was that just what sorry, I can't speak words for some reason right now.
No, that's
just
fine.
Not executing on offense, or was that Boston College on defense?
No, you saw us. We dropped we dropped one on a crossing route that would have been a touchdown. We had a penalty that put us back. We were a little uneven early on, and credit a little bit to Boston College. I thought that their plan was outstanding. They did a lot of really good things that kept us off balance. They ran some 2 trap, which is a cover 2, and they pressured us. So it took away some of our man zone reads. They did some really good things. We had to make some adjustments. But John Doerr was outstanding during that period of time when we were a little uneven, where he kicked field goals and kept us ahead of you know, would have been momentum swings, if you will, and those were big kicks for us.
Brian, a little bit to echo that, as you go into halftime having shuffled down where it mattered most, what was the message? Was it's inevitable we're going to get through, or was there some...
I told him I was happy with the offense and its ability to take a deep breath after, again, being a bit uneven and starting to now execute at the level that they're capable of, and that defensively, other than the explosive play, do not give up an explosive play. If they do not have an explosive play, they cannot beat us. They flat out can't beat us. So no explosive plays. Continue to trust the guy next to you on defense because you have to be assignment correct, just like the option. And let's settle into what we're doing offensively, and we're going to be in good shape.
On your offense, you did get an explosive play with Braden, the 61-yard rush. He said as soon as he saw where the ball was spotted, he knew that would be in the mix. What about having the ball in your midfield next time?
He had no idea. He doesn't know the snap count half the time.
Can we get access to him again and ask him about that? What about having the ball at midfield makes that jet sweep?
Was this his first time with the media? Braden? Yeah. So you got to, guys, really? You brought all that?
That's why we're asking you.
Okay, well, let's start again.
Is there anything about having the ball at midfield that makes it near midfield? I think it was the 39 that makes the jet sweep more effective.
No.
Okay. On the aisle, Coach. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations on a dominant win tonight.
Thank you.
How much do you emphasize to your team preseason, before the games, the importance of winning at home?
It's a huge piece. It's part of our summer workouts. We have themed runs, conditioning runs that center around that. We condition in the stadium, which is a protect our house themed run with video. It is a big deal. It's important, and if you look at the schedule, you can imagine, most teams play 7 games at home. If you can protect your house, and do okay on the road, you're in the mix. So it's a huge point of emphasis.
Do you talk about the goal of winning every game at home? Is that one of the goals?
Yeah, I don't know that we talk about winning as much as the standard that we want to play. On the other side of the T-shirt is the ND standard, and so a standard of play that exists when we are in this stadium, and that standard needs to be one that protects this house. Yeah.
Myron Tagovailoa, his status?
Don't believe that there's anything significant there. Soft tissue, but no structural damage. Don't feel like there's anything to be concerned about moving forward.
With the senior class overall, as much as you want to take the program further and sort of like push out, do you feel like this one of the legacies of this group is like there's a floor, there's a foundation here that 10 wins that's just sort of what Notre Dame football is now, and Notre Dame football has not been viewed in those consistent terms in quite some time.
Yeah, I think 3 years begins to put you in that position. I think 4 out of 5, starts to even bring it clearer into a picture of 4 out of 5 years. That's where you should be. If you did it once and then you don't do it for 3 or 4, then you're hoping and praying that that's where you are. But 3 in a row, 4 out of 5, that's where you should be with this program.
In terms of just the example you feel like the seniors have set collectively,
Yeah.
where do you think that's been the strongest, and how do you see guys that you feel like, okay, they're following, like this is going to be replicable next year?
Yeah, the peer accountability piece has been the most important one, holding their peers to a level and a standard. If there's trash on the locker room floor, go pick that up. That shouldn't be on there. And so not kind of letting things slide, but holding them to a level of accountability. And then the piece that I brought up earlier is that, we may slip, but that doesn't mean we can't get back up and get to where we need to be.
Coach, who got the game ball?
Asmar Bilal.
Excellent. And second question would be about Jonathan Doerer. There was some concern coming into the season with his length of, getting the field goals. He gave you a 47 and 45-yard shot tonight. How does that talk to his maturation over the season?
Yeah, I wasn't concerned about his length. He has always exhibited leg strength. It was consistency. It was really the mental performance end of things. And I'm so proud of him and his ability to really change his mindset and the way he's gone about it. This is all on John Doerer. 100%. I think Brian Polian's done a great job with him too, because he coaches him every day, and that relationship has to be really solid. There's got to be trust there, but this is John Doerer really getting into a good space of consistency, and you saw that today.
Brian, Ian was asked after the game if this was his last game in Notre Dame Stadium. He said, "We'll see." Do you expect him back next year?
We haven't sat down and talked about it. I think what he should do is get all the information first. We'll get the NFL evaluation in, get all that. We're still kind of in the, we're in the passing lane right now. We're trying to go through some traffic, and so it's really too hard to kind of sit back and make those decisions at this time. There'll be a time and place after the game that we play at Stanford to kind of make that, decision, but we're like, so focused on winning another football game, and then we'll sit back and make that decision. I'll help them.
Is that the biggest recruitment you have to do for the next couple
You
months?
know I'm going to recruit him. I want him back, but that's not my decision. But I'll certainly recruit him.
Are you surprised by it at all, or because it just makes sense for him to go through the process?
Well, it makes sense for me and him, and I've asked him to do this, is to kind of hold this to the side and please focus on playing the position of quarterback. And he's done a great job of that. So I really don't want to upset that, and I've asked him to kind of just put that aside right now, and we've got plenty of time to deal with it after the Stanford game.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Brian, I got one more for you on Ian, and
Yeah.
I know his body of work is not complete, whether there's 2 more games or a whole nother season, but
Sure.
at this point, where do you think he ranks among the quarterbacks that have played for you at this school?
God, here we go. It's just you guys can't help yourself, can you? I mean, he's really starting to play at a more consistent level, and you know, I really like the things that I'm seeing from him at the quarterback position. He's showing toughness. He's throwing into tight windows. He's making good decisions. He's throwing, to hot receivers. So he's playing the game the way it should be playing. But, to compare him to other quarterbacks, it's just hard for me to do that right now. I'm sorry. Thank you, everybody. All right, thank you.